Good morning, guys. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Somebody give me a sound check. Let me know if you guys hear me okay, if all is good. Video is good. We got 15 minutes to the ADP report, so not really the time to trade. But if we're going to do a trade, it's going to be a tiny little micro on this NASDAQ if I can get a green dot against a green slope. If I can get one more breakout dot over here that confirms that we're kind of bouncing off of 200, yes, we'll take a small little trade over here. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, everybody. All is good. We're just starting trade. We're gonna do we're gonna run this through ADP, the weekly numbers, and then of course ISM services, which will be a big event. I don't want to straddle ADP. Okay, here's finally a possible trade here. If the dot stays in place, if I can get the green dot to stay in place, we'll trade this to the upside. But we're going to trade it literally with the smallest possible size, just because we're fronting the news, which comes out in 10 minutes. There's no reason to try to be hero here. I was fooling around with the idea of like, hey, let's start the marathon today with straddling the ADP number, but I decided not to. I think it's better since we're trading my eval accounts here on NAS, and we're trading my funded accounts on gold. We're just better try to trade it the way we should trade it. Proper sizing, proper structure. If if the day goes well, or if the day is sort of okay, and then we have the ISM services coming up at 10 o'clock, we'll see how we feel. Maybe we'll straddle that, and that'll be our do or die funded strategy. If it pops up. Good morning, Eduardo. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Everybody crawling in. I'm looking to hunt down this particular trade right now. 26 seconds left if I get the green dot to stay. If not, again, tiny little size, because there's no reason to get aggressive in front of news. This can totally flip into a massive sell-off if ADP could be negative. And the whole thing could drop like a stone. And for those of you guys who have lots and lots of prop accounts from Apex, it's not the worst idea to like take 5 NASDAQ large. If you do 5 NASDAQ large, your funding would be 30 points, and just put a 30-point target, stopping on the short side, on the long side, and see if it hits. If any of you are going to do that, let me know in comments. I'd love to know it. But I'm going to try and be trying to be good and sober today, and not do too much degenerate stuff, and actually focus on our trade setups as they come. We got 10 minutes to the event. Still a little bit of time for me to take the advantage of this if I can get the green dot. The key setup, the setup that we live and die for, that is our bread and butter setup. The setup that gets us paid, as the song says. By the way, you guys like the song? You like the new song? I thought that was a fun thing to do. Is the following: we need a white dot, green dot sequence with one condition to confirm. The slope itself during the green dot sequence has to be green, and if it isn't, we wait until we get a green dot against a green slope. Only then do we have a general confirmation from price action that momentum up, momentum up, momentum down. That's what we trade. Yeah, Steve likes the song. Okay. Yeah, NASDAQ, I said five large. If you want to front ADP, 30 seconds before ADP hits, you put 5 NQs with a 30-point target, maybe 31-point target, just to make sure that you clear the commissions. No stop. And sell 5 NQs with a 31-point target, no stop. Best case scenario, one of them gets funded. Worst case scenario, you blow both accounts. But remember, I'm assuming you bought the cheap accounts at NASDAQ at Apex, so you can afford to blow them. It's just a cheap, easy thrill to get yourself funded, which is totally legitimate, as a funding strategy. But of course, completely illegitimate as far as getting paid out. So a lot of people are coming to me. We have everybody who's joined Past the Prop, and if you haven't joined Past the Prop, I put the link up up on the pinned. Make sure you you consider today. Today is actually coaching session. So today, if you join today, you'll be able to join our coaching and get a full Apex account funded by me. I will give you a free Apex evaluation account as part of your coaching initiation. The thing is that everybody's coming to me now is, how do we keep our funded accounts? How do we actually move towards the next advanced stage of getting paid? And so we're going to try and focus on trying to getting paid. Although trading degenerate is always fun. Maybe we'll even do it tomorrow. Gold was not a trade for me, Fabio. The reason why gold was not a trade was because gold actually, the same kind of situation you have in NASDAQ you need in gold. You need a full green slope. I took this gold trade. I made nice money on this gold trade. That was a super easy trade right here. I took that. As a matter of fact, I think I can show it to you. You can see it, right? That was just classic clean gold trade. I took that over there. But this is gold is only a trade right here at this particular point. And the thing about this is it's a little bit dangerous. You're coming against this double top on 607. And also you're in front of news. So I would never do it in front of news. It's just let me get rid of my executions so it doesn't pollute the chart. Let's go. Shit. All right. Long this, just for shits and giggles, micro position. 1650 is my target. I got 5 minutes to the event. This very easily can blow me out if the event goes against me. The idea here is I'm hoping that pre-market positioning is going to pull me up on this trade, meaning that they're trying to buy ahead of ADP, maybe pre-position themselves because they think that it could surprise to the upside, so on and so forth, or that it's relatively weak, that it's weak but not so weak. It's weak enough for the Fed to absolutely confirm cutting rates, but not so weak that the market is going to start worrying about a recession. All of this pre-positioning. I'm just playing pre-positioning at this point. That's why I'm trading tiny little position, because it could totally flip against me. This is pretty much have a hunch, bet a bunch, a little punt on the trade. But technically, mechanically, this is the correct trade. And the reason why it's a correct trade is because only when the slope is unambiguously, look that up in your dictionary, English language, green, do we take the green dot, right? And it's popping, and we're there. And my sort of suspicion that pre-NFP positioning, took me out. That's it. So we took a nice little. Mechanically, I just showed you the position. The important part about this particular setup wasn't the setup. It was the technique. I wanted to show you the absolutely correct technique, and I'm going to try and do a lot of that with you guys today. We're going to try, trade the BFF momentum dots as much as possible with technique. And I'm going to show you as much technique as possible, because that's the answer to how do I, well, it's not the full answer, but it's a partial answer to how do I get paid? How do we get paid, as the song says, right? Do a little bit of the song here. How do we get paid? That's going to be the key to our condition. So, by the way, who was it? Fabio was telling me that he took the gold. The gold is sort of the same idea. You have white dot, green dot. We needed a full green slope. He took this trade. He made money on it, but it wasn't a good trade. Like nothing against you, Fabio. I don't mean to pick on you. I do the same thing myself. There is a profitable trade and a good trade. And there's an unprofitable trade and a bad trade. You can be unprofitable and good, and you can be profitable and bad. And I'm going to try and be good to the bone, right? Good to the bone as much as I can be. And try to remind ourselves to be good to the bone today. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Good morning. I'm still gonna put the Apex discount here, because if you're looking to get accounts, go ahead. It's still a lot cheaper than any other prop firm out there. Even and they had a big discount sale. It's still a good sale, 50% off. You can definitely get yourself involved. But if you want to kind of cheat your way to an Apex account, join the Pass the Prop program, and you'll get one for free. Free is better than 50% off, and I'm happy to do that. And you get the full 6 months structure of Kathy and I. And by the way, that's going to go away too, because the coaching program probably in a couple of weeks. We're going to have the coaching program. Don't get me wrong, but it's going to be a 3-month program, not a 6-month program. So this is like the last time to really lock in the 6 months deal. So Fabio, if I was trading right now on gold, of course I'm trading in front of news, so I wouldn't be doing it. But this would be the proper trade. This would be the proper trade because this is unambiguously green. Whether it works or not is less important than whether it's a good setup or not, right? So this one right here would have been the right trade. But hey, as Yogi Berra says, I'd rather be lucky than good, right? Okay, ADP coming up in 6 seconds. Let's see how bad it is. It's gonna be a little bit of a delay here. It's gonna be a little pending. So they're looking at 73. All right, come to Poppy. Let's go. ADP is 67. No, 54. So low, really pretty low. Gold explodes to the upside. NASDAQ really doesn't have much of a move. So really, ADP did not have an impact a lot. So it's exactly as I sort of said. It's bad enough to absolutely assure that we're going to cut rates, but not so horrible that we're in a recession, right? So the market probably could take this as a more or less positive move, but it didn't really have a big market moving move. So if you straddle this, you probably could just close out the position if you want to preserve your position, or you could just let this thing float, do or die, and see if it catches bid, or if this thing within the next 5 minutes could actually give you direction, could actually push you in the direction you want to go. Gold was the spike move here that definitely worked. And just taking let me take the proper trade. If you took the proper trade, ignoring the news, you would have totally made money on gold, because it was a proper white dot, proper green dot over here on the move. For now, not much going on here. You just hit the button on what, baby? What'd you hit the button on, Gabriel? Long gold, short gold? Wait, are you an AMC stockholder? Are you like what is that called? A meme stock trader? Is that why I have your logo over there? Good morning, guys. Good morning. We're doing a micro marathon or a mini marathon, or a ape. That's it. You're an ape, my friend. All right. You're an AMC ape. We are doing a micro marathon today of a couple of hours. We're going to run NASDAQ and gold today strictly on my proper trade setups. We're trading my BFF dot indicator, only available to those that are part of my coaching, my Pass the Prop coaching. And it's available, of course, in TradingView as well as in Wealth Charts, just our favorite trading platform. I'm just looking at it may take a couple of minutes for us to see if we can find a trade in gold. We're trading gold in Wealth Charts, NASDAQ in TradingView Tradeovate today. We're trading NASDAQ on my eval accounts, and we're trading gold on my funded accounts, right? And we do lots of really interesting things. But the primary thing that we do is we trade short-term scalp momentum using my momentum dots, my BFF momentum dots. and you'll see exactly how the trade's set up. I walk you right through before the trade happens. I tell you exactly what I'm going to do. You can see my stops and targets. My stops and targets on gold are 8 ticks, 30 ticks. My stops and targets on NASDAQ are 20 ticks, 60 ticks. That's 20 ticks profit, 60 ticks loss. We trade with a very negative risk reward ratio, which is going to be horrifying to all of you, except when you realize that we win. When you realize, because we trade live as opposed to most everybody else on YouTube who trades bullshit, meaning that, we take our trades in real time in the future instead of showing you how great their trades looked in the past. So if you really want to learn how to trade, have fun with us, because I think you will enjoy it. Guys, I have a request. I have a request to everybody who's part of my coaching or everybody who's part of BK that wants to be kind. I'm trying to put together a couple of case studies of traders who went from sad to great, who went, from sort of not knowing how to do anything to really having a good control of the markets through the Passive Prop coaching program. And if you would like to be involved, it's a 5-minute, 5-question survey that I want to ask you. And if you are willing to do that, please email me at contact@bktraders.com. Just I'll put the email over here. Contact and say, hey, Boris, I'm happy to be part of the case study, because we've had so many traders have had success. Oh, shit. Did I fuck this up? Of course I did. Sorry. Let me delete that. Contact@bktraders.com. Okay. So gold definitely holding bid, consolidating around this 306, 3,600 level on gold has just been very, very strong. Gold has been the true darling of trade right now. NASDAQ is starting to drift down. I don't know if Captain, are you still holding that NQ short? Because the short piece of your trade may actually be working right now. I don't know if this popped you out, if the size was too large and it may have popped you out, or you're still in the trade, because that short straddle could be working towards take profit and funding. Let me know. I'm curious. I did not trade the straddle today. I'm kind of glad. I'm just really trying to be, a good technician today. You have to get out. Yeah. Okay. That's fine. I mean, ADP was just not a big event. But it does show. And I think I'm seeing this a lot. I mean, I don't think it's a mystery. Anecdotally, we really see a general slowdown in the U.S. economy right now into the fall season, and we do need some kind of stimulus. And this is why Trump's been just banging on Fed's head to start easing monetary conditions, because credit needs to be eased, because it's really everything is conditional on the housing market. The housing market needs to really reignite. And I think they're right to do everything that's possible to reignite the housing market, which is really, really critical to adding to U.S. economic growth right now. So we'll see how it plays out. But we're definitely in the slowdown phase. The key thing you want to obviously hope for is that we don't go into the recession phase, because that's going to be pretty negative to the markets, and a lot of the upside moves that we see in the market are going to be a lot more difficult. Doesn't matter for us. We trade both sides, but I'm just taking the trade numbers off. But you want it to be good for the economy. So watching gold here out of the corner of my eye, because the white dot, green dot setup very much in play. We just need to have a green dot and see if gold can push. Gold went to, I think, 630 yesterday, right? I mean, gold has just been a very, very cool trade. While I'm watching gold, let me show you something that I think is really interesting, what I call the box of death. And this is very, very valuable for anybody who's trading our thing. We perform worst when you have this kind of a structure, right? It's when we literally are just 2 or 3 hours in a tight, narrow range. I call this the box of death, right? Because for us, we need movement, because movement begets continuation. Movement begets movement, right? So there's very little movement. It's very lethargic. There's very little momentum. We could have maybe scratched out 1 or 2 winning trades, but there was also a couple of legitimate trades here that died on the vine. They just died on the vine. So when you're in this kind of environment, that's really, really negative for us. What we want generally, wait, hold on, let me just do this right here. What we want generally, this is, hold on a second, sorry guys. I'll come back to this. So this box is okay. It's not like the high low on this box is 540 to like a 60-point box is not horrible. But what we really, really want is some kind of a directional movement like this, where it's we start at 450 and it goes 504 in about half an hour. After this point, let me just show you. Like right after this point, the momentum stuff really begins to work, at least for an hour afterwards. So in other words, you have push, and then once you start getting the momentum trades, they actually begin to truly materialize. When we're in Asia trade like this, like here's a good example. This is good movement, right? This is kind of dead right here. Sorry, this was great movement, right? So we had great movement. The momentum trades, green dot, white dot, green dot, worked really, really nicely, right? Then we kind of die out. We die out a little bit, but the movement proceeds over here very nicely. Then we have movement to the downside, which in this case we didn't trade because I trade NASDAQ only to the upside, or if I'm on the downside, I traded both downside and upside, because NASDAQ is sort of an upside bias trade. But this kind of downside movement didn't. The thing is, it still, if you took this purple dot, red dot over here against the red slope, you still would have made money on this particular condition. Then it just sort of died out, and here's where we just avoid. When you have like an hour of no movement like this, not great. But then we break the box. We break the box over here, right? If you look at the box, we break the box over here. Once the box is broken, you can start taking continuity trades. Purple dot, red dot, boom, to the downside. This one really doesn't do a lot of continuity at 2 o'clock because it kind of dies at 62 to, it stops me out. But this one doesn't have the slope, but this one does. This has the slope, and this does work out. So having, understanding where you are, like having that break the box movement, like right now, the thing that I would love to see is us break this 480 down to 460. That would give me a little bit of confidence that once we start printing our type of setups, we'll have the possibility of continuity. Either way, just, it doesn't matter. To the short side, to the long side, what I want to see is movement away from range or movement away from the box. Once you have that, you are much more likely to succeed with our setup. Our setup is based on one thing only, continuity. And if you don't have that continuity, if you don't have momentum, which leads to continuity, it becomes a lot more difficult to trade it. You could have made money here because it was wide enough of a range to kind of, to help us out. But you were operating in very, very tight headquarters. You want to be operating in as wide a range as possible, because then your chance of success becomes very, very high. So that's basically, I wanted to show that to you today as kind of a key determinant. So why do I not trade the short side on gold or the short side on NASDAQ when the trend is up, the big trend is up? So meaning we're above the 200 period SMA. Right now, the trend, by the way, is down in NASDAQ. So I'm perfectly happy to, if I get a red dot over here, if I get a red dot in NASDAQ to the downside, especially if the red dot breaks this bottom of the box, I'll short it. I don't have any issues with shorting it. The reason why I don't do it is because both NASDAQ and gold are trend positive instruments at this point. The long-term trend, obviously gold is just to the moon, and it's much, much better in trend positive instruments to buy the dip than sell the rip. That's all it is. It doesn't mean that the shorts don't work. It just means that they don't work nearly as accurately as the longs. So the only time I save my shorts for is when the trend is, the 200 period trend is to the downside, and then I have momentum on my side. Does that make sense to everybody? Everybody vibing what I'm telling you on how we trade? It is 8:30. We got an hour to go to the open. A little bit more news coming up, I think. Oh, we got 51 seconds to all the news. Let's just see if we got anything. Let's see if productivity does anything. The market is looking for a 2.8 increase in productivity. That could be a positive revision if we get it. But the big event here is definitely going to be the ISM services. If that drops below 450, which is the 50 is the expansion contraction line. If you're above 50, the economy is expanding. If you're below 50, it's contracting. That could be really negative for the market. That could really be a drag on the market. Because at this point, the market is fully priced in. The rate cut, what it hasn't priced in is a possibility of a U.S. recession. So if it starts thinking that way, it's going to start to unwind because we are at very, very high levels. All right, let's see what the data shows here. Trade balance is 78, 77, so not much of a difference. Revised productivity is really strong, but why is that a red? Labor unit costs were 1.0. That's actually should be completely wrong. It should be green, not red. Non-farm productivity rising is positive. I don't know why are they doing it, but let's see what the market is doing. The market is popping. Yeah, the market likes the productivity numbers. Market is vibing well. So we still don't have a setup, guys, because we're underneath the big trend, but that's not really what we're looking for. We're looking for a green short-term slope, and the short-term slope is not green so far. That's a miscolor on forex. That's actually really, really good. I mean, that's a big ass jump in productivity. That's first of all, that's very. I guess the only reason I can think of it could be negative is interest rate expectations, because that means that it's deflationary. The Fed doesn't have to cut rates, but that's bullshit. I don't think it's really a big deal. Unemployment claims are above 30. We've been 220. This is the first time. If you look at this historically. Look at the unemployment claims, right? We're starting to really come back up into that 240, 250 level. Now, where it really, really, I think, gets in trouble for the market is if we consistently start breaking that 250,000 mark. That's going to tell you that the employment situation is much more perilous than the market thinks. As long as we're below 250,000, it still shows underlying strength in the economy. But above this, that's going to be very ugly. So we're going to be watching this for quite a long time as far as going forward. All right, the market doing nothing here. Big spike, big move down. Not really a lot of movement. We're just waiting patiently to see what trades we can take here. Who's coming? Who's new to the room, guys? Say hello to me. Welcome to our trading room. Tell me where you're coming from. What part of the world? What's the most exotic part of the world that you're coming from? All right. Market's starting to turn down a little bit on profit taking. Remember, this box, right? This 88, 90, 85 bottom of the box, we're starting to break that. If I have a purple dot, red dot combo, that's going to be a clean move to the downside, and I'm going to take that move. So I'm watching this pretty carefully on NASDAQ. Next couple of minutes could be a setup for us to go short. In the meantime, gold is just seems to really, hit a pause or a resist at this 610, 615 level. So we will watch gold too, because to me, if gold starts turning below the 600 level, it starts giving it up. There's going to be some really nice short opportunities in gold because we're going to be below trend. So I'll be watching both of those as the next hour develops. In the meantime, the market's just kind of trading up and down without much direction right now, but clearly inching lower. Like, we're trying to break that, the lower of that box. 82. So we start, if I hit a red dot on this next trade, I'm going to go short. I'm going to go into my NASDAQ, set myself up to a 2060 trade, I think. 83. So yeah, it's pretty, markets are pretty tight. Gold's still holding bid. So if gold comes back up to a white dot, green dot with a green slope, we'll get long gold. Most of this is positive gold, as rates are going to go down. Recessionary struggles could create sovereign debt crisis. All of this stuff is just sort of positive. Gold has really been trading as a hard asset substitute, as a currency substitute right now. So certainly getting really a proper bid on this thing. All right, watching NAS here, 57 seconds. They're testing the lows of this range. The bears are trying to see if they can push it a little lower here. We'll see. $38 seconds, 37 seconds. I'm watching this. $28, 27 seconds. Green dot, red dot. We do have a potential setup here. I'm going to sell it if it holds, but it's got to hold. This red dot has got to hold. 8, 9 seconds. 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nope. It's good. It stayed. Okay, so we're in the trade. The dot held. Target is 72.25. Let's see if we get any kind of continuity on this move. Claudia, the key thing to what we do is sort of like one or two products at a time. We just focus. BFF stands for be freaking focused. It's not that we can't trade ES. You can very much trade ES on all these principles. It's just it diffuses my attention span. So we try to focus on just two products, NASDAQ and gold as our live products. But lots of people in the room trade ES. You can trade ES on the exact same principles. Gold really giving up that 600. It's starting to look a little negative. Now, if I get clipped on this NASDAQ trade, that's fine. It's a good trade that's not profitable, which is the way you want it to be. Because, it's tight. The markets are probing, but not getting quite enough continuity. But it was a totally legitimate trade. Lots of, we had the momentum, we had the slope. If it works, great. Doesn't work, we move on to the next one. Gold tests the 600 again. Now, what's interesting to me about gold is if they hold it here and then re-rally back up, that would be a very potent buy signal for us. So we'll have to see if they sort of retest the 600 again and start printing green dots for me. and we'll see if that plays out. Yeah, I'm in at 77.25, as you can see. Okay. Well, Chris, were you trading? Are you trading on CFDs or were you trading on futures? Wait till later for what, Captain? Not quite sure what you mean. Yeah, if you're trading CFDs, you may have had an earlier signal, so you had a better entry. NASDAQ is refusing to really have any kind of downside price. We're just, it's tight. The bottom line is, it's just we're tight. We're not getting any decent continuity moves here, but we're staying patiently in the trade. We have our stops, we have our targets. We'll let it play out. We actually now have like a reversal signal. Of course, it's not a buy signal because the slope is red, but it just tells you the market is really really balanced. That the downside movement and the upside movements are at like a tug of war, and we haven't had a resolution yet. And what we're looking for is that resolution. Once we get the resolution price action, the flow becomes a lot easier. We have lots more continuity on the trade. Watching gold out of the corner of my eye because we held the 600 level. Now, do we, are we going to consolidate and pop it higher, or are they gonna try to run the 600 level again to the downside? Yeah, I'm looking to take my first gold trade. I just don't have any signals here. On wealth charts, we have red slope, white dot. We need the nice, clean, big green dot here on gold to pop ourselves up for a signal. But we'll wait patiently until we get the signal. All right, slope starts turning green now. That's a good sign. If we get a green dot here, that would be a legit gold trade for us, and we'll see if we can take it. NASDAQ is popping down. You know what we're going to take? We're going to just take a partial win on this NASDAQ. I'm sure it's probably going to hit my target, but we've been trading, generally if I'm going to trade for more than 3 to 4 minutes, the rule of thumb is get the fuck out. If you're green, get the fuck out, because the way our trades should work, they should work with the winning trades in my, I have a cool thing. I'll show you. I actually was able, remember I said to you, you could do reporting using ChatGPT. I did a whole video on that. Let me find it for you. It's really, really cool. Since we kind of, dipping around here, doing nothing. I'm watching gold here, minute to go. If this gives me a green dot, I'm going long in my wealth charts account here. So we'll leave this on wealth charts right now. Let's watch the gold. But let me find you. Let me find you my thing here. Oh yeah, here it is. Yeah, gold. All right, let's trade, and then I'll show you my reporting functionality and stuff that you can really learn. I made a whole video on how to do this, and you guys can totally do it yourselves. 30 seconds left on gold. We're breaking to the upside. Green slope, green target, green dot. Got to hold, and if it does, we're going long. We're going to go long here. 8 tick profit, 30 tick stop. 8 seconds left. 5 seconds left. 4 seconds left. 1 second, we're long. All right, we're long here. 7-1 is a target. 7-9 is a target. 7-1 is the entry. So that's our position on gold. Wonder if I how big was this move? Was this high, low? High, low was 4. No, it's probably it's pretty legitimate. This is pretty. We're in the right volatility envelope. Gold is popping. Give it a little. We have to be patient with our trade. While you guys are watching the gold trade, so I made a video on our YouTube channel. Let me take you there. This is like last week. If you guys want to watch it, I think it's under videos. Where is this? Where's this? Okay. Oops, gold did not work. Gold, good trade, but it died. So gold is having a struggling time. So this is really, really good. If we're struggling with the buy signal, like on a clean, legitimate buy signal, that tells me that gold is weak, that gold is possibly now ready for a short. So we're going to switch to my other account. Rule number 1, we always switch accounts. If we have a loss, we switch accounts so that we can manage our risk really, really well. And we are going to take this to the short side if the red dot stays. Hopefully, I'm not going to sell into the bottom. But generally, if the buy side signal fails, like it did right over here, that's just telling you that it doesn't have a lot of it kind of exhausts itself to the upside, and we have a reasonable chance here that it's going to start falling. Now, this is not the best possible trade because the only way I want to short it if gold is below the 200 SMA, but it's close enough that that I'm willing to take it, especially because we had a flip on the account. But I gotta have a signal. If I don't have the signal, I don't have anything to do. And I may have just, I was thinking to myself that, did I give myself enough volatility? Gold is such a spiky little trade, It's actually a really good point to remember these days. The higher we go in gold, the more spiky we become, which means that I thought of this in the back of my head that I should have done double the target and stop at half the size, which probably I should have done, which should have been 16 ticks, 60 ticks. And that would have been may have kept me in the trade longer, because the key thing about this particular setup, and by the way, if this gives me a green dot, I'm going to go back again, but at smaller size with larger volatility, 16 to 60. Very cool thing in well charts. You can totally totally adjust these things. I'm just waiting for this thing to survive. I'm actually, you know what? Let's go in early because it's essentially going to be a continuation of this trade. Either I'm right on this trade, or I'm wrong. So I came in at 7-1. This time I'm at 7-2. But the whole idea here is, am I in? Yeah, I'm in. Oh, I'm in the wrong account, guys. Shit. I'm in the 11 account. All right, fine. I'm still in this 11 account. And I'm trading. One of the things I forgot was I should have changed the account number here. All right, I made a tiny little error. But the key thing is you want to have your stop below this white dot to give yourself enough room for breathing room, because you saw this line out kind of a quick dot over, and then it came in back and recovered. So we'll see if my thesis is right, that this was just not enough volatility on this trade, not enough volatility envelope on this trade to make it viable. What's going on with NASDAQ? NASDAQ sort of exhausted itself. So this is going to bring me back. We'll see. We're going to let the gold trade basically. My target is going to be 8.8. We'll see if that we'll let that play itself out. So gold recovers its buy momentum, and we're looking for 8.8 on this target now, because I used twice the stop, twice the target, half the size as my volatility entry. We'll see if this thing resuscitates us to target. And this was just an error in if I'm correct, this would have been an error in execution. If I'm not correct, it still would have been the right thing to do this wider volatility stop, because gold really requires, especially during North America, it really needs bigger stops, bigger targets for all of its moves, especially during, like, I think the 8 o'clock to 12 noon, which is the North America to European close structure. It just, look at these moves. It's $5-6 moves. When gold is so high, using $3 stops is just not going to be enough to keep you in the trade and give you a chance of success. So hopefully we'll correct. This is my correct thesis here. And we're starting to pop up. We're starting to pop up over here. All right, pop up over here. We'll see if we can run it a little bit higher. Almost, but not quite. All right, watching very, very quiet price action here in gold, not quite extending where we need to be, but close. And whether this trade works or not, it really was the right construct these days. I think that's the key thing, is that if we're trading in North American session, we need to trade smaller and wider as the giveaway takeaway from here, because it's just not it's just very, very, especially post news. Look how spiky it is post news. We should have accounted for that spike. The key thing that you want to do, a positive buy trade should never break the white dot lows, right? But what that means is you need to also give it enough room to survive the white dot lows, right? And that's the key thing that we didn't do on the first attempt of this. We're trying to do this on the second attempt of this, and see if we can get up there into the upper run. If they can sweep the ladder here, start taking the offers. All right, I'm just looking up the video that we made. Here it is. I'm going to put this link in there. This is the video I made about using ChatGPT as a trading journal. Okay, so I want to show this to you. Watch this video because it's really, really good. But more importantly, whatever, watch the video itself, how I turned GPT into the ultimate trading journal. What's really, really cool is I want to show you I didn't have the website. Here's what I did. This is my actual AMP account for like 4 or 5 days worth of trading. AMP has like horrendously bad analytics, and ChatGPT turned all of this into really good analytics. But what I wanted to show you is profit trades average. Yeah, this is what I wanted to show you. 3 minutes, 42 seconds in average winning time, and losing time was 5. So if you're above 5 minutes, and we were already above 5 minutes in that NASDAQ trade, and I was marginally profitable, you want to get out. You want to have the great thing about reporting is it can just tell you that tiny little edge of when you're basically in trouble. Remember, not losing is just as valuable as winning. That's why I covered that NASDAQ trade, which totally worked, because had I not covered the NASDAQ trade, maybe I would have hit TP, but it really was 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. The point is we were in a very, very long duration trade, and a winning trade is 4 minutes or less. A losing trade usually is like 5 minutes or more. Speaking of which, by the way, this is turning into a fucking losing trade also, because it's already 10 minutes in this piece of shit trade. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to take our own advice, and I'm going to flatten out this position, and in just basically no trade whatsoever, because we haven't moved a lot. Now the cool thing is, by the way, is in this thing, you can actually, I only traded NASDAQ and S&P in this. This is my own real account. But you could, this whole thing that I created could actually do it by instrument. And you could say, oh, if I'm in gold, what's my winning losing timeline? And I could have traded this. But I generally think that gold, you can see gold was just not picking up the juice that I wanted. So fine. And of course now it's going to completely go to my target and do its thing. It's fine. We'll wait for the next gold setup to look at that. And I did not I took my own bad advice and not let it go to target. But yeah. And so we all bailed on gold, and it finally went to target because it's sort of a slow, quiet pre-market session. It's kind of grinding itself out. It wasn't a bad trade, but the thing about the trade that we didn't do as well as we should have is we needed wider volatility stops and a little bit patient. I think if we had a wider volatility stop from the beginning, we may have been able to hold on to it longer, but it's fine. We'll look on, for the next, we'll go to the 14 account. We'll look for more trades as they show themselves up. But yeah, it's always live and learn in the markets on this trade. The other thing that's a little bit hard to tell is this was a pretty clear green slope, but this was a very, very clear green slope. So if we had entered over here, we would have been in a better shape as far as the target goes. Okay, you can't win them all. You can just win most of them. That's what we try and do. We're still basically floating around looking for setups, which are so far not really materializing for us. Oh, no, it is materializing. I'm wrong. Let's buy this. we're going to do this trade over here. Why am I taking this trade over here? Because remember I said I want to buy the dip in NASDAQ if I have a white dot, green dot structure. Now, this green dot was not really clear green slope, but this is a very clear green slope. So this works, this doesn't work. This is a decent enough setup that I want to take it. So I'm long this with 92 as my target on my NASDAQ. We'll see if I can pop it. And, it's maybe not. We'll see. But again, based upon the thesis that NASDAQ is an upward bound structure, the buying the dip is generally, we're below the big trend, but we having a little bit of a reversal move here is generally not a bad idea. How much time do we have? Is it 9? Oh, it's only 9 o'clock. So, we still have half an hour to the open. So it's not like I'm fronting the open right now, but, we'll see if this, we're at 86.75 on this trade. Not a great execution. I wish I'd gotten a little bit better. Not bad. I mean, it's not horrible on the close. Now it's just a matter of whether, this trade works or not. Keith said that he made the slope line thicker and that it helps. That's not a bad idea. Could be. It could be. Remember, I was sort of operating off of my NASDAQ data, not on my gold data. Gold sometimes maybe, the winning trades in gold may take longer. So the cool thing is you can download all this data and analyze it and just get a good idea, which I'll do. You can just export everything into a CSV format and then have ChatGPT create that kind of a report for you. I'll actually try to see if I could create the perfect prompt for ChatGPT to create, I'm uploading a CSV file because there's actually kind of two prompts. You need to upload the CSV file and then ChatGPT needs to clean the data. So there's actually the prompt to clean the data. And then once the data is clean and in the format you need it, then you have the format prompt. So I'll see if I can create both of those prompts, and I'll create links for it next week for you guys, and I'll upload them over there. And, this nothing is working pre-market right now. This trade doesn't work. It's a good trade. It was a good trade, although now legitimately, we're negative trend. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go. This is the cool thing about this is the key thing about having big, Apex. You have more than one account. And if you have a legitimate trade going the other way, you can take it in the other account, right? So if this trade doesn't work on the scalp size to the upside, we absolutely, this is now legitimate. Like, let me show you. This is a red slope, red trade, red target trade. We can definitely take it to the downside. Let's see if we can get the execution to the downside here. Nope, doesn't hold. The green slope comes back into view, which is good. And so there's no trade for us on the short side. Really sloppy price action here, by the way. Yeah, and even though this did take target, you can see that it took a long time, and it's starting to get really kind of very weak on gold, right? I think I'm going to go short gold here in this account, guys. I'm going to sell market with larger volatility stop. I'm giving myself smaller size, larger volatility stop on this particular thing. It's not quite a legitimate short, but it's close enough that I had a whole bunch of long trades that quasi failed. So I'm willing to to give it a shot here. I'm in the position here. Where's my position? I'm at 608. This is basically a question whether they want to break the 600 or not. So we're going to see if they want to break the 600 or not. 3,600 or not. And NASDAQ is just wallowing, doing nothing. So NASDAQ gives me a red dot. I'm going to go short the NASDAQ. $25 seconds on that. Very slow price action. Not a lot of movement today. Really feels like we're in a big stall right now. So, well, everything can change in an hour. That's the key thing. We just have to be patient. No signal yet on NASDAQ. And gold is kind of stalled in front of the 600. I think this is really a trade of whether they're going to break the 600 or not. So we're just, we're in a trade trying to see if they can break the 600. Okay, sell signal on NASDAQ. Trying to accelerate a little bit more. New trend slice. You can really see what's going on with gold, that this is like they're selling the 610s and trying to hold the 600s, right? NASDAQ now is starting to really expand the downside price action. So hopefully this will give us a legitimate sell signal as we try to play it. Nope. NAS is teasing, but coming back up. No signal on NASDAQ. "24 seconds. Let's go to full screen so you guys can actually see. So we are starting to create more directional moves, which is what we really want. We want them to break the box. They broke the box in the 80s. Maybe this is going to be a move to the downside. Let's see, 8-9 seconds left. If the signal holds, we're going to go short, but it's got to hold. 2, 1, short. Okay, we're short. Target is going to be 62.75. Okay, we're in the trade, 62.75. Oh, and gold worked. Sorry, I was like, see the gold. They did break the 600, and that worked very, very nicely. So those of you guys who took the gold, it wasn't quite the 100% kosher trade, but it was good enough. Good enough for government work, in a sense that you could tell that they were breaking those barriers. And the dots, really, the key thing about dots that's really, really cool is it helps you time the entry, right? You could just tell they were breaking the move. We took the move over here, nice clean move on a big volatility stop. That worked nicely, and we're good to go on gold. All right. In the meantime, NASDAQ is struggling a little bit, but we're still staying short to the trend. And let's see if we can get the momentum move to the downside. Yeah, that's a very good piece of insight, and it's really, really good piece of insight. And it just, the reports can really tell you what to do properly, right? Remember that when I'm trading with you guys here today, like in lives, I'm trading this for technique. I don't trade it, this isn't like my optimal time, my optimal instrument, my optimal strategy, whatever. I'm trading it for technique with you guys because I want to show you technique, because that's the key thing to get you interested in being able to trade properly. But then you can, obviously, once you've mastered technique and you've learned how to trade in coaching, you have the tools and you have everything else, then you can really refine your technique to the best possible structure and the best possible trade. Yeah, the beginner bundle isn't going to help you. If you really want, the beginner bundle is actually going to go away next week. It's not going to be available. What you really want is the coaching session, because the coaching gives you everything you want. Like if anybody wants to be seriously trading with me, it's really the coaching bundle. This is the pass the prop bundle. You can QR the code here, or you guys can hit the pinned link and get that, because that is the real value in our service. So if anybody is seriously interested in trading, that's where you want to be in those structures. So now, I'm coming to that again, point of contemplation, because it's so slow. You see, the markets are just so slow. Generally, we're looking to resolve this within 2 to 4 minutes. We've been like 4 minutes into this trade, right? It's finally starting to, maybe it's going to start breaking down. Come on, baby. Now it's going to start breaking down. Come on. Come hit me. At least we're moving in the right direction. In a way, here's the other thing is reporting can also play mind tricks on you. I'm just thinking about this. For example, like, in that report that I showed you, there's not enough data. Like if, because that's my real account, and I only did 4 or 5 days of my real account trading. To really get good ideas, you need like 100, 200 trade samples. That's probably best off of your prop accounts, or if you've been trading, your real account for a long time, you gather that data. So you can't really draw conclusions off of tiny little slices of data, which is why I was going to say, you probably can't draw conclusions on saying, oh, I only got to be in a trade for 4 minutes or 5 minutes, because sometimes, that may not be the case, especially during these quiet market hours. But it does, we do have a lot of anecdotal. We know that, winning trades kind of resolve themselves pretty quickly. Losing trades can usually drag on. But sometimes winning trades can drag on. And you need to understand where the context is of time. So we're 6 minutes into this trade. I'm hoping that we start to really accelerate here. I need to see 62.75, right? So I'm in here. I'm at the ladder. The ladder is right here. I'm sitting over here trying to see if they can drive it. I mean, it's really, really quiet. 5 minutes. 5 minutes for 5 points is nothing in NASDAQ. It should be 5 minutes in 1 minute. 5 points in 1 minute. So it's really slow, but it's grinding. It's staying in my direction. I'm going to be patient enough to see if we can make this trade work. Yeah. So Captain is making this point, which I think is, I just want everybody who's listening to me to understand why that's the false psychology. Good job. That we finally patience worked. The whole point of pass the prop is to help you pass the evaluation. That's what we work on. So if you're interested in you're not going to pass the evaluation by yourself unless you do a lucky evaluation, and then you're never going to have the skills to be able to get funded. So that's why I kind of make this offer. It's not about, first I want to pass the eval, because then I'm going to feel like I'm going to get paid out. You're not going to get paid out. You're going to lose the funded account in less than 1 week. I'll bet $100 for it anytime, anywhere, because you won't have the skills to keep the funded account. So that's the key. That's the value of having coaching. First, you have the confidence to pass evals almost at will, as almost everybody in my room can now pass an eval almost at will, which is a very hard thing to do. And then the second thing is, then you can build the skills to get paid out. That's the value of coaching that I hope you guys like. Feel free to chime in, guys, for anybody who's in coaching, and tell me if I'm wrong. Yeah. So, you got an email, just kind of like an old marketing email. Yes. NQ done. Finally, Miguel, right? Jesus Christ. Was that long? That's good. Ali, you passed 2 yesterday, right? Hey, Ali, what were you doing yesterday? Were you trading like $500 target trades, or were you just doing like one big trade and you were trading, like, I think you were trading like $500 targets. You had 3 or 4 trades in a row. Boom, boom, boom. Just really sniper precision. Was that what you did yesterday? Yeah. And by the way, Ali, I emailed you. I really would love to have your case study. So if you can respond to my email, I'd really appreciate it. I think I emailed you. I hope you got my email. If you didn't, just email me back, and I will. I'll send you the survey. Okay. Ali's like a really great example of somebody who came into coaching, really knew nothing, learned the momentum dot strategy, and then made it very much his own. And now really, you got the email. Okay, cool. Ironically enough, Ali, you'd be surprised at how many fucking Olis I have in my database. I was like, Jesus Christ. What is it like? Do I have all of Sweden in my database, or Norway, whatever? So I wasn't sure if it was with the right email, but I'm glad I got you. Thank you. Thanks, Kurt. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Anyways, that's, I just wanted to kind of let you know that the process is you learn the skills to trade, to pass the evals, and then you learn different set of skills to get funded, which is really the whole key thing. Yeah. Yeah. It's very common. Yeah, I know. I know. I was like, holy cow, how many Olis are in our email database? Anyways, all right, let's look and see what we got here. So the NASDAQ, remember we talked about breaking the box and creating directionality. And we had this whole conversation an hour earlier where I was like, oh, look at this miserable freaking box. The 85s is what's holding us, holding the support around here. And then we started to sift lower. And that eventually created the momentum for us to catch the move. So we finally took this to this trade. Took us a little while. Let me show you the actual execution so you guys can see it on the chart. You see how the execution goes over the sell label? See how the indicator gives you the signal that you can then take for proper profit. That's the value of this whole thing, is that the indicator is the signal generator. If you can read it properly and you have the right context in the market. Now we kind of have to basically twiddle our thumbs because we are, no, shit. We have gold. Let's go gold. Gold. Buy. Why am I buying gold? Because I got white dot, green dot, positive trend. Let's go. Sorry, I was like, so super fast on this, but you guys can certainly get into pretty much the price. 6, looking at 11, whether it works or not, it's a good trade. This is a clean, legitimate trade. We're positive trend, positive slope, white dot, green dot against a strong green background. Let's go. Let's go. Tested the 3,600, and now do they want to rip it higher? Let's see if they do. Hopefully they do. Let's see if they do. Definitely having, that's the box on gold. If we look over here on the full gold structure, we are kind of at the top of the box. The only concerning thing is that we're kind of top of the box, but gold is positive bid, and it's looking like, it wants to create that directionality. Would I love to see gold break this to the 15 level and then have more continuity? Yes. But all I can do is just read the market, the best that it's giving it to us right now. So we are in this particular trade right over here off this green dot, because it's giving us a signal to the upside. I'm using a large volatility stop because gold is very, very spiky, and we want to be able to, this is a 9 to 5, this is a $4 candle. So we need to, we need to have like $6 worth of retrace and retreat movement to be able to survive any kind of near-term correction. And then hopefully this busts up. I think the target in gold here is, what is it? 11.2. 11.2 is the target. Ben says NQ bought him out. Looking at the GC. Yeah. GC is popping. 11.2 on the GC. By the way, for those of you guys, we're trading gold on wealth charts, NASDAQ on Trade really, the one thing I will say is that if you're a trader, the wealth charts platform is a really, really good platform as a trader. It's just a, execution, because everything is single click, single structure, single visibility. The chart, the ability to trade from here to the ability to trade there. You know what? I'm going to flatten out here, guys. Where the fuck is my flatten out button? I'll flatten out the button. Target, close enough to target is close enough. We made target. I just wanted, to show you, this was a good trade, and I wanted to stay consistent with a good trade. So yeah, gold pops up nicely into this move, and we do well. I'm trading pretty small size with you guys, really, really small size actually with gold. I could be trading larger size, but again, these are funded accounts, and I kind of want to this is going to be part of my coaching. That I'd rather err on the side of caution, because the idea is for everybody who's really interested in maintaining and getting paid in the end. And the way you do that is by really, really controlling your size structure as much as possible. Now, I'm controlling my size structure too much here, but I'm also doing it because we're doing a lot of, I'm showcasing technique. I'm not really trading hardcore on my accounts. But we'll talk a little bit more about the balance between size and structure in coaching. But regardless, what you see, so just kind of like reviewing the wealth charts journey here on gold. We took a not truly illegitimate trade here, but a decent enough trade because we were betting on the fact that they were going to break the 600. They did break the 600. We got that. But what was interesting is what happened right after that. They tested it, and they kept the gold above the moving averages, right? And then it started to build up to our momentum trade. And the moment I saw the green dot, white dot over here against a very strong slope, I got right in, right? And the thing is, once you recognize that pattern, it becomes almost instinctual. You don't even have to think about it. That signal was very, very strong. So that signal now broke the box to the top side. And it's very likely that it can go run higher. And one of the things, by the way, that we'll talk about in coaching is that while I show you in live short-term, ultra high probability, like 90% winning trade scalps, it doesn't mean that you have to trade exclusively that way. There are people who would much rather trade 50% accurate for $10 in gold instead of 90% accurate for $1 in gold, because that $10 in gold becomes a much more meaningful, profitable trade. And you do a single trade, it gives you $500. You're good. You're done for the day. The cool thing is you don't have to sacrifice one to get the other. You can use my scalp entry as a starting point for a much longer, much more profitable, much more productive trade. Because always my scalp entry, if it is a good trade, is always the beginning of the big trade. Because what I always trade, the reason what you see why my scalp entries are so good is they're always the beginning of trend. I don't take, the moment the trend starts to develop, I let it go because that's not the highest probability. And the highest probability entry is the beginning. It's the juiciest part of the trend. So you could extend my signal to a much longer, much more meaningful trade if you wanted to. Just wanted to kind of share that with you. NASDAQ is really doing dick all. We got 5 minutes to the open. Let's see what the open does for us. 3 or 5 micros, Keith. I'm doing 1 micro on this thing. I'm literally trading like an old lady from Pasadena. I'm trading very tight. Good morning, everybody. Market open. Everybody joining us. Hello. Who's new in the room? Say hello to me, guys. I want to see what's going on. Come join us. Introduce yourselves. We're doing nothing right now because the market, it's 5 minutes to the market open. We just banged a trade in gold, which I completely deconstructed for you guys 5 minutes ago. You can watch it on replay if you want to, but it was a classic gold trade. Everything lined up perfectly for us in a nice clean trade. And the trade now keeps going. And that's for those of you guys who wanted to really milk this thing. You certainly could have milked it. You could milk this thing maybe to 20s or 25s. Because as I said, my trade always is the start of trend. And if you want to hold on like a cowboy on a steer, you could really make a lot more than what I'm doing. Croatia, nice to see you. Is it getting cold in Croatia at this point? Is the summer season almost over? Are the tourists leaving you guys? And most importantly, are you watching Djokovic in the U.S. Open? Those are the key questions I have for you. Who else is trading from me? Anybody trading from Asia? It's 9 o'clock at night. Pretty good time to trade the U.S. Open. You're off, you're done with work. A couple of hours of scalping. Make it a lot of fun. Yes, no? Let me know. Hi, Evgeny. Where you, Evgeny, are you from Russia? Where are you from? $27 degrees, yes and yes. Wow, that's actually pretty warm, baby. Tourists are gone. The water is warm, and Djokovic is playing. So life must be pretty good in Croatia, right? By the way, Djokovic got the best TikTok feed. The guy is so funny. What a great guy he is. Oh, wait, really? Is that late in Russia? Holy shit. Why is this? Yeah, because it's Europe. It's Europe. Yeah. But it's really Europe. Oh, man. 23:27. It's 11 o'clock. It's almost Asia. Are you in the Asia part of Russia, Evgeny? You must be like in Eurasia because you are way the fuck away. What is the code for gold on wealth charts? You know what I'm going to do, guys? Ready for NQ? Miguel says he's ready for NQ. I'm not trading NQ, Miguel, because it's 9:30. Remember, we got to be good good to our habits. NQ is popping a white dot, green dot, possible upside trade, but it's 9:30, so we can't take the trade. It's 9:28. We got to give ourselves. We're going to give ourselves till 9:34, 35 before we can reinitiate trades. Then after that, we also have the ISM services, which we got to trade. So, oh, you're in Vladivostok, of course. Yeah, you're in fucking. You're not in Russia, my friend. You're in fucking Japan. Do you know that? Okay, totally random fact residing in my head. So Vladivostok is like the biggest city in Russia on the Pacific side. It's like it's facing Asia. In Japan, they have this rule basically designed to force Japanese population to buy cars that you after 2 or 3 years they actually charge you extra tax. Anybody from Japan, tell me if I'm wrong or right. This really, by the way, very, very tempting to want to take this trade. If you guys want to do this, we can do this, what I call the shits and giggles trade. We can do this on a 10 target, 20 stop, 1 micro on this trade in front of the news. It's probably going to be very, very stupid, but it's a tiny little trade. So we'll do it just because it looks like maybe we're getting pop into the market. So 8-9 seconds left. I will trigger it just right now. Okay, so I'm in this trade. Oh, look at this! It really slipped against me on the close, but still popped up. Look at that. Yeah. So I'm almost certain gonna eat this trade. But if we're degenerate hunting on the open, we might as well try and do this. This is the market open, and we pump and dump, right? Just total pump and dump. There's like zero reason to want to do this fucking trade. Miguel, why did you get me into this trade? I get so shit. I'm out of this trade. Fuck this. I get so persuaded by you guys putting in signals on the trade. I asked you beforehand not to do that. That's really it's my own fault, not your fault. But this should never have been a fucking trade, and I shouldn't have even done a micro trade. This is just really stupid. This is really, really fucking stupid. Okay, let's watch now, because now we actually might get a legit green dot that we will trade for real with a real size. So let's see if we can get that. The way it works, Elias, is you pass. Look at this fucking thing. It's totally flipping out. So if we get a green dot here, now we're gonna go. Oh, it's a white dot. So white dot, green dot. We stay tight. Elias, the way it works with funding is you pass the eval, you pay a one-time fee, and actually the one-time fees are really, really discounted today. And then you get to keep the account for as long as the account stays alive. There's no more fees. There's no more structures, nothing. You can keep it for the rest of your life if you're good. And if the account goes towards profit targets, you'll get paid out on the account. So that's the really, really cool thing about this, is it's very, very very solid after that. You just need to pay the lifetime activation fee, and that's it. And then it's yours, and then you can trade it forever. All right, I'm watching the NAS flip around. Maybe we finally woke up. Maybe we'll take out the 500 level. Let's see if we can make that go. Also out of the corner of the eye, gold, white dot, green dot. But we're going to focus on one product at a time here. See if I can get the. I got to clear 504s. So we're clearing the 500s. Let's see if we can make this happen. 54 seconds left. Let's see if the candle holds. See if we get a run through the 500s here now as the market gets a little more excited. This is a really big candle. It's an 81 to 13 candle. So I really have to go. I'll have to go on micros, half size on 40, 50, 13 seconds. I have to extend my volatility envelope to trade this properly. So it's going to be a 10, 30 trade. 4, 3, 2, 1, long. All right, we're long here. 30 is the target. 30 is the target. That's what we need to see. We need to see 30.75 on a target. Can it extend 10 points? That's where we're at. And we're done. So this was really well executed trade from every perspective. I can pat myself on the back. Do I get a little, somebody give me a pat on the back. And I'll explain to you exactly why I did this properly, why it worked, and what made this trade good. What made this trade good was that I did everything correctly in this trade. Sorry, before we do this, I'm watching gold here. We have a legitimate setup in gold. So before I try to explain, let's go to gold and see if gold sets up for us. 30 seconds left. I have a white dot, green dot against a very strong slope. Let's see if it works. Thank you, Sandy. Hey, Sandy, I also sent you an email. Please respond if you got time, okay? Good morning, Estefan. Good morning, Sandy. Okay, no trade on gold. So I can explain. Let's deconstruct what I did here, right? So let's get rid of all the trades so you guys can actually see it. Okay. So first of all, we have a clean, clear buy the dip structure. White dot, green dot. This green dot over here, right, at 22, this is the trigger candle. The candle itself is very large. It's much larger. Our typical structure is 5 target, 15 stop. If the candle on which the trigger happens is larger than 20 points, then we go to 10 target, 30 stop. We extend our target and our stop in order to be able to create a reasonable volatility envelope so that we can survive the dips. We can survive the actual dips that are natural. The thing about trading is it's never unidirectional. It's always one step forward, 2 steps backwards. That's why you need the room on the stops, because the 2 steps backwards is what gets everybody stopped out that doesn't know how to trade. Before you can go 1 step forward and make money, you got to give up 2 steps backwards to survive the stop. So what we do then is we reconfigure our size to have twice. It's twice as much target, twice as much stop with half the size. Usually my size is one mini position on NASDAQ. But in this case, I go to 5 micros. And what I did is I go here at 24 or 25 with a 22 with a 30 stop right over here. And remember, it goes all the way down against me like 18 points. I gave myself 30 points of room, so I was able to survive the stop and make the target. You can see this again on the execution marks right over here. As I come in at 22, and the whole thing gets done at 30.75, right? Pretty much 10 points. So that's the key That's the key to me running it. And this is, Miguel getting me into trouble because the reason why we didn't take this particular trade over here, this green dot over here, is because this is the 9:30 trade or 9:28 trade, the worst time. You never want to take trades at this particular time. Oh, vertical. Am I screwing this up? Okay, I can't put the vertical line in there. Whatever. You get the idea. Anyways, you guys get the idea of how we were managing this. And I think, I thought it was kind of interesting. Oh, now we have the gold trade finally materializing. Let's go buy it. Okay. So gold trade here, we're in at 16.5. Gold is starting to really, break that. Remember, to break that box, right? Break that box. And we're targeting 18.1, I guess. Yeah, 18.1 is our target. Let's see if gold can materialize over there. There's a big breakout move here on gold, right? Look at this white dot, green dot, big breakout move. Hopefully we can extend a little bit higher into the target zone here. But we were watching I was watching the gold here. I was looking for white dot, green dot. And again, you need that 2 steps backwards to make 1 step forward type of a structure. Where's my target on gold? 18.1 is a target on gold on wealth charts, right? Okay, so let's go full this. I'm going to get rid of the trademarks. And we'll watch this. So even if you think that this is a sell trade, it's not a sell trade. Let's see if people in the room can tell me why it's not a sell trade. Those of you guys who've I'm just, Miguel is like one of the best traders in the room. And I'm just razzing him. He's been trading with me for a very, very long time. But even old timers make lots of bad mistakes. But yeah, the 9, at least not to 932, 933. We really need to have that zone. So trend is green, correct. Steve Royce is giving me the right answer. The slope in NASDAQ is green, so there's no trade here. There's just no trade here. Oh, it looks like I got my gold is just dying. So the gold is doing its big breakout, big breakdown, lots of volatility move here, and I may not survive this trade, but it's fine. Again, I'm properly sized. I'm properly traded. If it doesn't go my way, it doesn't go my way. It happens. We'll see if this is just a dip that they come back, or we're kind of exhausted the top of the box. The one thing I was thinking about the gold is that it really ran that 615, and they just could be just having a violent profit taking move here to the downside. And again, I will deploy the same technique as I did earlier with gold. If this fails, then I will take the sell signal. Even though I don't take the sell signal in an uptrend, I will take a signal because a failed buy signal, a failed proper trade in an instrument is usually an incredibly good turn signal trade. It means that the proper trend is exhausted itself. But what does it mean for us to create a failed signal? Is I would need to see purple dot, red dot structure. If I have that, I'll go to the other account. As a matter of fact, we can go to the other account, go to the 11 account, and trade that to the downside if it does come in. Because that would absolutely tell me that that we are exhausted to the stop side, right? And it does. See how it starts to break down. We're going to wait patiently until and unless it holds that signal, because this run to the 16 now is probably going to come back and test the 6,600. So, watching and waiting on the move. So just a big profit that, you see gold is it can be a very treacherous trade if you don't know what it's doing. It's, just took a big profit taking dump here right off the 16s. They just flushed it all the way down. And now it's going to be a question of whether the buyers and the sellers are going to take control. All right, I'm short here. So here we are at 9, and the target is going to be 8.3. The low here was 7.6. So let's see if this works for us. "15 minutes to news." So we're gonna hold off on. Well, I'm just trying to think of do I want to hold off on this or not? Because it's 15 minutes to the news, and I really want to wait for the news before we start trading NASDAQ again, because of all the volatility moves here. But we'll see. Wow, look at the spread on this thing. It's 9. Look, how is this a 5-point spread? Why is this? Man, this ladder is just really all over the place here. Look at the spread. I don't. The spread just seems really wide. We're done to the short side. Okay. Oh, services PMI 54, forecast 55. So that's the. Oh, it's the 945. This is the services PMI is the precursor to the ISM, which is the really big event that came in at 54.5. So slow. Man, maybe ISM might fail. ISM might fail to the downside. Anyways, you get the idea. Today I showed you my little trick of like, if the good trade fails, take the opposite trade. And you can see this trade just now is starting to dump. I told you they kind of held the 16, and now they're going to run it back down to the bottom. And as always, I am just taking the juice of the trade. You guys could have taken 5-6 points on this move. On the flip side. All right, NASDAQ is quiet. Anybody take the reversal trade with me and reverse themselves out? Anybody do that? That was a lot of fun. Good job. Steve Roy did. Okay. Yeah, Cheryl took it. Nice. It's not a, Santiago, it's really kind of a feel. It's much more of an advanced technique, and it's not anything that I officially endorse, but it's just, it's something that I like to do myself, like on kind of an advanced technique basis. It's not really a setup because it's not it doesn't really show up continuously, it just shows up rarely. NAS is trying to crawl its way back up to the upside. White dot, green dot. 10 minutes to the open. I'm tempted to kind of play with it, but I'm not sure if I want to. Let's trade this just on a tiny basis with 2060. Let's just trade this. I'm just trading it really for nickels and dimes, mainly because I have news in front of me, and I think, did I screw this up? I can't even tell. The moving averages are so tight that it's hard to tell if I had the slope even here. So okay, whatever. I took a tiny little loss on this, which is fine. Shouldn't have traded this. I mean, again, you don't want to trade in front of the news, and it's very tight zones. That's why, if you're going to make a mistake on small size. That's sort of like the big mantra of today. I've been making the good trades on big size, the bad trades on small size. That will carry you a long way to surviving. So if you have a itch that you want to scratch it with the tiniest fingernail you possibly can. All right, big reversal here because the market is, again, we're trying to see. I think the key thing here in structure is, let me just get smaller here, show you the box. So sort of like, we broke the box to the downside, came back up on the spike to the upside, and now, again, testing this lower end of the box. And if we start extending, then we're going to the 400, 360. We're starting to really, really move to the downside. This is a pretty ugly signal to the downside for us. This big reversal purple signal is pretty ugly signal that the market, if we start breaking this support over here at the 450s, I think we extend a lot lower. Market just not having any possibility. But we really, it's 10 minutes to the open. If we get a purple dot, red slope, the only thing we can do is just take a tiny little trade. Again, scratch the itch in a very, very small way, because it's not responsible to want to take a big position in front of the news. Having said this, I am really, really, really convinced that ISM is going to be weak. I don't think it's going to be, everything, all the precursor data. Let's just take a look at this. So I think ISM what if ISM comes in at 49? That's going to be pretty negative. And that may drive us, to do some sell signals in NASDAQ. Time is it? Oh, we got about 9 minutes to the open. I mean to the event. So who wants to say hi to me? New people. There's more and more people piling into the room right now. So say hello. We do this every day. Come bring your friends. Come hang out with us. Yes, I think that's a given. But honestly, GFAS, I'm kind of, my thought pattern is this. It's 98% confident that there's a rate cut. I don't think anybody is questioning that the Fed is going to cut rates. I think the bigger question is, are we tipping into a recession? Because that's bad for stocks. It doesn't matter how easy the monetary policy is. If we're tipping into a recession, market starts to sniff out recession, you're going to see much weaker bids as everybody starts to liquidate and get it to cash. So, I'm kind of thinking that, but you never know. We'll have to see. We try to follow the price action. I try not to be, that's the other thing is, don't try to be too cute. Don't try to overwhelm yourself with too many data points. Try to trade the setup as cleanly as possible within the reasonable constraints of where we're at. And just also realize that there are some days like today. Today is a day where we're in the box pretty much the whole time, right? It's we've been able to really make lemonade out of lemons. But it's just all been lemons over here. We haven't had any duration of move. On the other hand, gold has been just, very clean, straight moves, because the moves have been, big waves. We need the big waves. I guess that's the way to want to look at it. We need the big waves. And if you want to think about this as a wave thing, if you catch the crest of the wave, right? You have a signal, you catch the crest of the wave crests on your trade, meaning it stops you out, then it's probably going to, you want to ride that to the downside. It flips the other way around, right? Same thing, if the trade, if you're trying to buy the bottom, if you're trying to sell the bottom of the wave and the wave really rises, you want to ride that wave to the upside because it's going to carry you even higher. It's how you want to think about the price action and the dot structure that we have, the momentum dot structure that we have. That will really visually, I think, make you understand what's going on. GFAS, are you trading ES? Is anybody in the room trading ES? Let's do a little poll. We got a few seconds. Let's do a poll. I trade, and you only just one choice. You may trade a lot, but I want to know what you trade the most. I'll say gold, and option, and ES. All right, let's do the poll, guys. Answer the poll here. The question is, I know you may trade more than one, but what do you trade the most? The most. Answer the word the most, because I'm actually curious. This looks like a lot of people are trading gold. That's really interesting. Okay. All right, don't forget Apex Trader Funding. The code still gives you the biggest discount code. I just put that up here. Pick up a few if you haven't done so far. And most importantly, if you don't want to pay for Apex Trader Funding, if you come into my Pass the Prop coaching, I'll pay for one. I'll give you an account. I'll start you with a $50,000 account. All right, super quiet. 55 seconds left. Where's gold? Gold is putzing around. I can't even see. Gold is holding that. Look at that. The 200 SMA is the 3600. Isn't that interesting? The 3600 is the 200 SMA. Sometimes the price levels and the indicator levels really dovetail. You can really see it. The very, very cool thing about trading dots is you can really see all of the narrative right in front of you. Via the price action, you can totally see what the buyers are doing, what the sellers are thinking, where the points of contention are, and how to time these things with the dots, how to time them with momentum dots. Answer in the poll, guys. This way we can have like. We can have a good idea. Wow, gold is really dominant. Look at you guys. Look at you guys. And then ES, with like 20% of the room trading ES. It's very interesting. I kind of feel like those are the introverts of the room. They're quiet. They don't do a lot of risk, but they're very, very consistent. Because I think it's very emblematic. That product is very emblematic of a slow, steady progress. Jivas, what are you trading? Use the dot system that I have. What's your stops and targets on gold? I'd love to know. Can you, if you want to share that with us, that'd be really interesting. I'm just curious, like, what maybe you trade like one exit, two exits. I'm just interested in your general structure. NASDAQ, really, look at this NASDAQ. It's a 10-point range over the last hour. Shoot me now. Minis or micros? So that's a wait. Are you trading a 4-point target, 5-point stop? So almost even money targets. But same techniques as my entry techniques or different entry techniques. And also 5 minis. That's a big micros. Yeah, 5 micros. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. The NQ pattern kills? What do you mean? Which one? Which one are you looking at? You mean the white dot, green dot pattern? It does kill, but we need a little, we need like, it doesn't kill in this box environment. The range. Oh yeah, the range. You time off a tick chart. That's right. Oh, that's right. You use a tick chart. And you overlay. You kind of use a tick chart with a dot. So the dots are not on a 2-minute chart. They're on a tick chart, right? That's kind of interesting. Oh, it's killing you with boredom. Yeah, I know. It's, you know, it's like, do you ever see all the comedians do a like a riff on English language? Because in the English language, the word kill can mean it's the greatest thing or it's the worst thing. It's like this, your shit means you're disgusting. You're the shit means you're the best thing ever. It's really funny. English language, same word, two opposite meanings. Oh, you're waiting until the tick chart is heading in the right direction. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. You think we're going to rip up soon? I think we're going to do dick all until we get the report. Here we go. 12 seconds left. Let's see if we're below 50. That would be meaningful. Let's see what we want to do here. $52. Wow. Wow, that's a surprise. So look at this. This is a good example, by the way. This is why I always trade price action, and I don't try to get cute. By the way, look at this. It's not even a reaction. Like it's a positive number. Nobody gives a shit. Let's see. By the way, let's see what the breakdown is, because I want to see if prices paid may be high. I'm trying to see. Looks like the market doesn't like it that much. Anyways, if the market doesn't like it that much, and we get the purple dot, green dot, we're going to trade that, because now we have a legitimate post-event signal if we get it. Definitely not holding my breath. It's still a minute, 2 minutes for us to even have a pattern, so we can go back and just see what the data said. See what the data said. All right. Where's the underlying business activity? 53 expected. 52.6. It doesn't have. I want to see the full report. All right, I'm gonna have to Google this. ISM services. Let's see what the numbers are. Okay, business activity, 55. This employment, weak but not horrible. New orders, pretty good. Prices, not a bad report. I can't say this is a bad report, guys. But the market at price action, not really loving it. Not even reacting to it, honestly. Wow. Yeah, that's sometimes that's absolutely true. NASDAQ. Okay, so we're getting a signal. All right, we're finally getting a signal. Let's and we're obviously going to trade this, I think, on a volatility basis. So we're going to trade this on a micro 5 with a 1040 if the signal holds. So we got to see if the red dot holds, and see if this thing can do anything for us. So far now, Jesus, we touch the bottom and we come back. I know. I was just thinking, I was going to say that, GFAS, that, man, what a bust that straddle was. Sometimes it is. But, maybe tomorrow would be a good straddle. We'll see. I think it really feels like a blah market action to anything at this point. All right, 32 seconds left. We are legitimately sell signal in this particular structure. 23, 24 seconds left. We're breaking the 40s and the 50s, so that's pretty good. Let's see if we can make that play. I'm waiting for the candle close. Not rushing this trade until it completes the candle close. 8, 9, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sold. All right, we're short here, and we're targeting 31.75. And they're so close. And we're there, and we're done. Nice, clean, volatility-driven setup. $100. Done for the day, I think. I wish I could do more marathon trades with you guys, but I have like literally 5 meetings because the queen, of course, just stacked me like a stack of potatoes. So I'm gonna let it go. But the cool thing is tomorrow we're a lot chiller. We have NFP tomorrow. She's gonna start the trade. I will be with you after she does the forex trading. Today was, I think, a really good day in not fucking up, which was probably the most important lesson of like, let's just trade technique. I traded technique pretty much on all the good trades. So that kept us out of trouble. And this account ran up. I mean, this account was, I think this account started at 600. We're almost at 900, right? So we're a third of the way towards getting funded in a very, very, very methodical fashion. The gold accounts over here, the 14 account is up. The 11 account is just kind of flat. Not much going on over here. But we will focus on those tomorrow during NFP when there's going to be a lot of movement. The point being is that none of these accounts are in any way, shape, or form damaged, and that's what I kept myself from not damaging the accounts by staying small. So today was hopefully a really good lesson in all of those things. Coaching is tonight. If you want to join me, here's the link. Go out there. Go hit me on coaching. I will buy you or QR the code if you're on Twitter, if you're on X. QR that code. Go into coaching, and I will buy you an Apex account. And if you want to get your own Apex account, here's my final discount code for that. All my friends at Apex, enjoy that. All right. Any final questions? Anything else on your mind, guys? Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. It was slow and steady, but it was very professional, and that's more important, right? Sometimes excitement can be your enemy. No more, no degenerate trading today. No fucking around. We really stuck to our guns and ran it really, really tight. So hopefully you guys liked it. All of you guys who are new, come back again. We do this all day, every day. As you can see, we do a lot of good trades. The setups are really great, and we move towards profit. That's our job. Thank you so much, Chris. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Chris really banged it away on CBs. Yes. So Claudia, everybody who's in coaching, who's new, I will be sending out the emails now. I send them out the day of. You're gonna get them. You're gonna get them twice. You're gonna get them now. Then you're gonna get them just before the event. Don't worry. We just have to. I have to create the link. I create the link the day of to make it really fresh. So don't worry. You're gonna get it. Everybody who's in coaching is gonna get it. If you haven't gotten the link from me by like 4 or 5 o'clock New York, for whatever reason, maybe it's in spam. Maybe somehow you were not on the list. Just email me and I'll send it to you. Gloria, thank you so much. Gloria. Thank you so much. I'll see everybody tonight. Everybody enjoy. If you want to join me, again, make your life fun. Come join us in coaching. Here's my link. I'll see you guys all. Hasta la vista. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.